When the gavel drops and the stakes are high, Sevvy's here to break it down, to clarify trials and cases, she's got the knack, bringing the law online, no holding back. From courtroom twists to the legal scene, Sevvy's insight keeps it clear and clean. With every case, she's on the ball. Legally, Sevvy's here to tell it all. Legally, Sevvy, sharp and true, explaining the law just for you. Tune in now, get the legal scoop. She's legally savvy, and now so are you. Legally savvy, sharp and true, explaining the law just for you. Tune in now, get the legal scoop. She's legally savvy, and now so are you. Gavel drops and the stakes are high, Sevvy's here to break it down, to clarify trials and cases, she's got the knack, bringing the law online, no holding back. From courtroom twists to the legal scene, Sevvy's insight keeps it clear and clean. With every case, she's on the ball. Legally, Sevvy's here to tell it all. Legally, Sevvy, sharp and true, explaining the law just for you. Tune in now, get the legal scoop. She's legally savvy, and now so are you. Legally savvy, sharp and true, explaining the law just for you. Tune in now, get the legal scoop. She's legally savvy, and now so are you. So are you. Legally savvy, sharp and true, explaining the law just for you. Tune in now, get the legal scoop. She's legally savvy, and now so are you.
All right. Well, hello everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Let me get the chat box here so you guys can see it. Yeah, I think I got it. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Oh my god, I can't do stuff today. There we go. All right. Hello everybody. I hope you're having a great. Oh my god, what day is it? Thursday, a great Thursday. I do have a green screen behind me, and one of my cats refused to leave, so it was really wild. I did my best to get him out because he was trying to climb the green screen. I think you can kind of see it a little bit. I did my best, but he was trying to climb it, and it's a really tall green screen that I have in the background. So we shall see how it goes. I tried to then kick him out. I tried to kick out Plato, but that did not go well because he started to grab a hold to one of my chairs that I have here and would not let go for dear God. It's a fake. But I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. Today it is a Thursday, and the temperature, in case you guys don't know, it is really fucking freaking cold. So I'm looking at. I use this app called Carrot, which I love. It has like insane stuff. It says it is -6 right now where I am. The statement that comes with it is your heating bill is going to bankrupt you. Like, that's literally what it says. But oh my god, you guys, it's absolutely crazy. So I was gonna be recording so many videos, but then I saw this and I was like, I have to go live and talk about it because it's absolutely bananas. Osaku says it's 2 degrees. This morning was insane. This morning, I think it was like, it feels like it's -17 or -15 or something like that. That was pretty fucking crazy. But I hope you guys are having a great day today, because the weekend is almost here, is upon us. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. And if anything else, just be glad you are not Sarah Boone. Just be very happy about it. Fantastic Sarcastic says 2 here as well feels like -11. Yeah, that is pretty wild. That is pretty insane. Why? Yeah, wild. Yeah, it was high this afternoon. This morning it was so freaking cold. Somebody asked me what the temperature was this morning, and I said it's -5, and it feels like -17. I think Plato is saying he is the co-host. Yes, I agree. I don't know where he went, so he might do a cameo pretty soon because he's been trying to destroy everything lately. I don't know what is going on with him, but we shall see. Aiden says, I hate the cold. Well, I kind of would rather have the cold weather versus hot weather, because at least when it's cold, you can do something about it. When it's hot, there's nothing you can do. Like, the air and the AC only go so much. If the green screen fails, you can always blame Maruda. Yes, that's true. I feel like if I can't move. I'll just be like this the entire time. Hello. I can't move. I have to change the chroma thing, I think. I think that's what I have to do. And I clicked on the wrong thing. I think I have to change the chroma thing. Oh, there we go, because I clicked on the wrong one. There we go. And maybe this will work better. Okay, I enabled the chroma. Yeah, I don't see the green anymore. The chroma key did work, although it seems kind of weird, but it looks a little bit better. I hope you guys are having a great day. Today we are going to talk about none other than Sarah Boone and her crazy letter. I think it might be So we shall see, because I have a couple things that are going on right now. So don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but I'll work on it. I will call somebody and have them talk to me about it. But this is the infamous letter, you guys, the infamous letter from Sarah Boone. Let me just move this over here so I can read it. Okay, so this was filed on December 11th at 12:50 p.m. It was filed in office at the Circuit Court for Orange County. And just start from the get-go. Just starting from the get-go. In here, she is already addressing the judge as a mister. You know, usually when you are addressing correspondence to a judge, you would say honorable judge name, right? That's what you would say. But no, in here she lost all respect already from the get-go. She already lost it. And she just said Mr. Michael Kranick. The level of disrespect. So it's absolutely crazy. It takes a long time to become a judge, right? You obviously have to go to college, get your 4-year degree, and your bachelor's. Then you have to go to law school, get 3 years in law school. Then you have to go through law clerkship, internship process. Usually folks go to a law firm or they law clerk for a judge. After they get a good amount of experience, and then they run to be judges and they put their hats to be judges, or they get nominated, depending on the court that we're looking at. So it is something that is, you know, it takes a while to do to become a judge. And judges do have a different rule of ethics that they have to follow, on top of just normal lawyer ethics rules. So there is a judge ethics that they have to follow. So they have to do a lot of stuff for it. And in here, she decided to start by being disrespectful to a judge who was nothing but fair to her. I mean, granted, yes, he did give her life, which, by the way, it's not 25 years, it is life. So he did give her life. There's no possibility of parole in Florida for her. So she's not going to get out. But she started with already being disrespectful here. Mr. Michael Kranick. Not the best way to go about it. Okay, so it says, I am enclosing, please. I think she says, please? I don't know. Please. My complete statement to you and the world as I partially read during my sentencing hearing. So one of the things I understand here, so you guys know, is her statement that she read in court was edited and redacted by her attorneys. Her attorneys held her back in that insane, controversial statement that she read in court. This is the unedited version. The unedited version. So this is the complete statement that she wanted to read in court, that she did not read in court because her attorneys redacted it and told her that she could only read parts of it, which is insane. So I can't even imagine. I have not read it. I just know generally as a whole people are saying it's disrespectful and completely unhinged. So I'm excited to read it because God, she's so entertaining. Okay, so by my reserving particular parts of my very true and meaningful full statement, I was hoping to have been graced with your forgiveness, understanding, and consideration in any level of degree. So even here, she's already stated, I withheld everything I wanted to say because I thought that you would understand me and you would forgive me and you would be considerate with me as it relates to sentencing. Like, how bad is this? Jesus. Okay. Oh my god. For me, unfortunately, and regardless of whom I had speak on my behalf, or the number of your ignorant mind was already made up, and she underlies ignorant. Oh my god, why? Why? Oh Jesus. She underlined the word ignorant, of your ignorant mind. So in here, she's already snippy with her lawyers, who, by the way, took the case pro bono. It's like, I don't think she understands that it could have been even worse. Okay. Oh, shit. All right, let's move on. No, Fantastic, I agree. Fantastic Sarcastic says, is it crazy to say that I watch a prison reality TV show staring her? She's so demented. Oh my god, she's crazy. Okay. By your clear error, so she underlined that, clear error, and full-blown unfair bias against me since your involvement in my crucible case as a whole. I have been unsuccessful in receiving anything from you as a supposed fair and neutral judge, except for your wish that I spend the rest of my life in prison. I really can't take her seriously. I really cannot take her seriously. Oh god. But yeah, we'll hear her side of the story. Oh my god. Jesus. Okay. Well, there is big difference between clear error. Usually when you're looking at appeal, and maybe this is what she's trying to position herself in, you're looking at a significant, substantial error that was made as it relates to law, right? Or you're seeing something that the judge was actually biased against her. So I don't know if she's trying to kind of position herself for an appeal here by trying to say that, you know, there was clear error. But just because she says it doesn't mean that it actually is. It doesn't mean that there's actually clear error, because again, like, the standard in appeal is gonna be much higher. You're gonna look to see that the judge just clearly went way beyond what he needed to do and took matters upon his own hand, right? Didn't follow the letter of the law, didn't follow things that, was not a reasonable decision that he took. And so far, I think, like, what the question really is, and I don't think she has a lot of grounds for this, right? Because part of the reason why they tried to get a new trial, and they tried to say nope, like, you need to get the charges against her dismissed, was because the expert that was testifying on behalf of the state said that, you know, she thought Sarah Boone also suffered from different type of psychological conditions, right? And that is kind of what, you know, the statement meant. It was not anything substantial that was related to the case. So what Judge Koenig did in order to repair that, because he did find that the state was in error, because the expert witness during the deposition, which, you know, it is taken before trial, so you have to take all the depositions before trial, was, is there anything else that you came as a conclusion, that you had as a conclusion as a result of looking the evidence? And at that point, the expert witness for the state said no. But at trial, she added more things. So in order to resolve that, because the judge did find that the state was at fault, they had Sarah Boone's lawyer conduct a deposition. They asked the jury to go out, and they conducted the deposition, you know, immediately that day, and that corrected the error. I do think that that was the appropriate thing to do. Definitely gave them the opportunity to inquire as to the reasons for that, for the new conclusions that they made about Sarah Boone's mental stability and any psychological issues that she might have outside of the presence of the jury. So when the jury came back, he was then prepared to ask different questions, right? And that did meet that, and that did fix that mistake that happened by the state. So there was no error. I don't really see any type of error that happened other than that. And Judge Koenig has been going above and beyond what he needed to do. So when Sarah Boone was going to do the case herself and was going to be pro se, he gave her plenty of days, plenty of notice. He made sure that she had all of the evidence, all the documents in paper and in the computer. He even made sure that she had access to the laptop after hours. So before, she was only allowed the laptop like during when I think like the library was open, so it was like only from AM to 4 p.m. And he ruled to give her extended hours to be able to prepare for that. He made sure that she had everything in paper so she could keep it with her in her cell. It did end up being that, there was a fire hazard, so she had to make sure to put everything in a bag. And because she complained that there was a lot of loose paper, then, he did talk to the Department of Corrections to make sure that they could give her things so she could keep it organized. So he went above and beyond what he needed to do. He went above and beyond what he needed to do. He actually listened to all of her concerns and all of her crazy talk and tried to meet her wherever she was at. So her saying that there was unfairness, I think at this point it's completely it's completely false, because he did everything and more. He also gave her the chance of having 8 attorneys represent her, and either she fired them or they'll quit because of how she was treating them. She would refuse to meet with them. She would refuse to talk to them. She would walk out of meetings, right? And there's only so much you can do when your client absolutely does not want to talk to you, right? If you don't have that rapport, if you don't have that connection with your client, and you don't have that trust, there is nothing that you can do about it. And even then, through Sarah Boone's letters, what we found out, a lot of the tension between her and her prior attorneys were that they believed she was guilty, and she did not. And she kept saying, they're all convicting me. They don't want to listen to me. They don't want to make my case the way I wanted to be like followed and go through, right? So it's absolutely bananas. He gave her plenty of times. The fact that she had 8 attorneys over a 4-year period, and she, on this behavior continued over and over again until she said, "You're done." It's absolutely ridiculous that now she's saying that he is unfair. Tara Crystal says this woman is avoiding responsibility. She's blaming the judge for her sentence, for not herself, for killing her boyfriend. Yeah, it was her boyfriend, correct. Warlock says Sevvy said the judge has been super fair. Has it super fair? Yeah, she's a complete Karen, 100%. All right. Please know, and always remember, again, Mr. Koenig, not Judge Koenig. Before in her letter, she did address him as Judge Koenig. Okay, Mr. Koenig, I forgive you. Okay, all right. Well, I don't think people want your forgiveness, because we all heard how that went last time. We all heard her, "I forgive you." It's just absolutely crazy. We all heard it. We are not interested. I forgive you, still and sincerely. Please understand also the judge, according to Cicero, is never to lose sight that he is simply a man, and that he cannot exceed the power given to him by his commission, that not only power but public confidence has been given to him, and that he ought always very seriously to attend not to his wishes but to the requisition of law, of justice, and religion. Okay, all right. Well, I think he was pretty fair. I am excited in my appeal, which speaks for itself. Okay, so she is appealing. My case law as well, in which I am extremely proud to have achieved, and I will continue to do so now that I am no longer in your corrupt court. I'm free from your malevolent judicial grip. What? Oh my god. I think sometimes she just needs to stop talking. Like, seriously. Like, this is not helpful. This is really not helpful. She actually said, I'm excited in my appeal, which speaks for itself, my case law as well, in which I am extremely proud to have achieved, and will continue to do so now that I am no longer in your corrupt court and free from your malevolent judicial grip. Okay, so now she's saying that the the court was corrupt, which is not true. Now she's saying he's malevolent, which again is not true. He gave her plenty of chances. And again, he was not the one who sentenced her to life. The jury did. What is she gonna say about the jury? Oh my god. This is crazy. Oh, sorry, I have cramps. I'm gonna take some pills for my cramps. Oh my god. All right. It's James Davis saying Sevvy doing some good roasting here. No Saku Boy says she actually believes all of this too. I bet she does. I bet she does. I bet she does. It's absolutely crazy. Alright. Sarah Boone v. State of Florida. I have also added to my statement as a result of your blindness and impartiality. For most, your disgust in me as being an outspoken woman, determined defendant, and proactive client, hoping the next time you put on your listening ears, you do not unfairly oppress the next as you have so blatantly done me. Okay, all right. So, I have added to my statement. So I'm assuming that. Oh, so it's the next page as the statement. This is the addition statement. So, from here it seems to say that she's being discriminated because she is outspoken, a woman, determined, and a proactive client. I wonder if she means the proactive client part because she went through 8 attorneys. Like, this is not normal, you guys. It's not normal for you to go through 8 attorneys and they all quit. If all of your attorneys quit, they're not the problem. You are. Oh my god. Oh my god. Terra Crystal asks, does anyone deserve sympathy after locking someone up and taunting them? I don't think she's gonna be able to get any sympathy. I'm just really surprised at the nerve that she has. You will never admit your many judicial errors, nor will the prosecutor theirs, and I will never admit to what you have wrongfully accused me of and judged me as. I am not a murderer. I am a survivor. Signed, Sarah Boone. Okay. Jesus, this is gonna be interesting read. This is gonna be a very interesting read. Well, I don't think he did any judicial errors, and I don't think the prosecutors did anything wrong either. Like, I think she's forgetting the fact that the jury was the one who convicted her to life and said she was guilty of second-degree murder. The jury did. The jury. Oh god, I don't see her as being a survivor. I see her as being somebody who is very manipulative. I might do a video if you guys are interested showing some of the videos that the prosecutor presented, where she was yelling at Jorge Torres as the guy was very clearly intoxicated, and she was mean, man. She was really, really mean. She was very clearly oppressing him. I'm not saying that what he did to her was okay. I think they were both very screwed up people. Where like she blames others more than Eruda blames Chad. You got Chrysanthus, what a survivor. Brimstone, 2 words Eruda fears. Judge Sevvy. Oh boy. Alright. Okay, so this is continues on her statement. Black robe disease. Yeah, it was definitely a toxic relationship. I agree, Nosaku. Black robe disease. Oh, it's getting hot. Arrogance in a judge, a slang term for a judge who flaunts judicial power and dominates proceedings at the expense of the disposition of justice. I don't think that happened here. I really do not. He was nothing but fair to her. Impartiality. Okay. Impartiality is the first duty of a judge. Before he gives an opinion or sits in judgment in a cause, he ought to be certain and absolute that he has no bias for or against either of the parties. If he has any interest, even the slightest, in the cause, he is disqualified from sitting as a judge. Hey, Smooth, thank you for the raid. Hello, everybody. In Smooth's chat, we are talking about Sarah Boone. Sarah Boone wrote a letter to the judge talking about how she thought that this was unfair. She said, let me go back here because this is absolutely crazy. She basically says that he engaged in clear error and full-blown unfair bias against her. And then she basically said that he was ignorant in her statement. Hello, Psychotic Mongoose. Yeah, this is Sarah Boone. So for you guys that don't know, Sarah Boone is a crazy lady, as you can see in the thumbnail, from Florida. And she killed her boyfriend. They both got drunk. They decided to, quote, play hide and seek. He got into a suitcase. She sipped him up. The guy was about like 80 to 90 pounds. So he was just skin and bones, basically. Sipped him up. There was no way to really easily open up the suitcase because it was broken. So you would have to use a paper clip to try and move it up and move it and open it. And it was really hard to open as they tried in trial. It was really hard to open. And then she grabbed a baseball bat and then she hit him while he was stuck in the suitcase. She made recordings making fun of him as he's saying, Sarah, let me out. I can't breathe. This is really hard. I can't breathe. And she just didn't care. In the videos, she's making fun of him as he is begging for his life and saying, I can't breathe. Let me out. She says, that's not my problem. That's your problem. And then she says, that's how I felt when you cheated on me. And her statements were absolutely horrific because you guys, we all know now that he died because he couldn't breathe from the suitcase. And after, yeah, look at floating head at times, I know. And after she went ahead and did all that, she then went to her bedroom and fell asleep, and she woke up Yeah, it does sound familiar. And she woke up and he was dead. Maybe if I do this, let's no. Oh, it doesn't work, man. Okay, I'll have to figure something out later. Um, I can't figure it out right now. Yeah, so definitely it was pretty crazy. The jury convicted her of second degree murder and sentenced her to life. So Florida, that's life. It's not 25 years, it's life, and she's not eligible for parole at all. Um, so she wrote this letter addressed to the judge, being really mad, and now we've come to the place where she says that she feels that he hates her, and he was not impartial because she's an outspoken woman, a determined defective, and a proactive client, which by the way had 8 lawyers quit on her because she was proactive. That's what she's calling proactive. I call it being a Karen. um, Getting into fights, refusing to have meetings with her attorneys. They couldn't help her in their case. They had a lot of disagreements. It was not going well, and they all quit. So I don't call that being a proactive client. So now we are here into the letter where she calls him and talks about black robe disease, which is arrogance in a judge, a slang term for a judge who flaunts judicial power and dominates proceedings at the expense of the disposition of justice. Again, I thought Judge Kranick was nothing but fair to her. He gave her a lot of chances that if I had been the judge, I wouldn't have. So he gave her a lot of chances. Impartiality. Yasmu says, imagine being sound asleep after doing something like that. I don't understand how she went to sleep and didn't do anything about it. Impartiality is the first duty of a judge before he gives an opinion or sits in judgment in a cause. He ought to be certain and absolute that he has no bias for or against either of the parties. If he has any interest, even the most slightest, in the cause, he is disqualified from sitting as a judge, and where aware of such interest ought to lawfully and justly refuse to sit on a case. The delicacy which characterizes the judge in this country generally forbids their sitting in such a cause. And in here, what she's really talking about is what would set a judge to be disqualified into a case, right? So if you look at the judge code of ethics, the judge code of ethics states for the second judicial court, which would be Florida, states that a judge must avoid all impropriety and appearance of impropriety. A judge must expect to be subject of constant scrutiny. A judge must therefore accept restrictions on the judge's conduct that might be viewed as burdensome by an ordinary citizen, and should should do so freely and willingly. So definitely there is a code of conduct from the Florida Supreme Court, which you can find at supremecourt.flcourts.gov. And they have a preamble, they have different canons in there, but a lot of it just really handles how a judge needs to conduct cases, right? And that is where this entire idea that a judge should not be hearing a case, right? It's about being impartial. So Canon 3 from the Florida Supreme Court talks about a judge shall perform the duties of the judicial office impartially and diligently. And it does talk about when a judge would be disqualified from a case. It talks about the decorum in trial, the fact that they need to be patient, dignified, and courteous to all litigants, jurors, witnesses, lawyers, and others. So they do go through it a lot in great amount of detail. So that's what she is referring to. But she's taking a complete step forward because, and way more than what is actually required, because he was nothing but cordial to her. He was nothing but fair to her. So I really don't see any type of bias. The judge must not only be impartial, but must also follow and properly enforce the law, not abuse. He is bound to declare what law is and not make it. Be not an arbitrator, but an interpreter of the law. It is their duty to be patient in the investigation of the case, understand circumstances and difficulties by all parties, careful in considering parts of a case in whole, and decent in judgment. So in here she is citing from a law dictionary. Okay. But at the risk of practicing judicial, I can't. I'm not sure what she means by him. By here, criticism. Not sure. A word I have coined in this presentation. Centrism, maybe. Others have called it black robe disease. Whether he was correct or not in my behavior is widely accepted. That judicial behavior affects the jury. And this is Marie Rachel, the Simpson trial. Centricism. Thank you. It was hard to read it. Thank you. And then there is the worst of judicial ailments, the black robe disease, which is otherwise known as arrogance. This is Lynn Tolan, A Practical Guide to Becoming an Emotional Genius. Okay, lady. Sure. Trial judges are affirmatively charged with securing. So this is a lot of quotes. Okay, she's just okay. Trial judges are affirmatively charged with securing a fair trial and must intervene sua sponte to that end when necessary. Brown v. Walter. That duty encompasses not only the avoidance of error before it occurs, but the fair correction of error that may have occurred earlier in a proceeding. I believe that's what Judge Kranick did during the trial. In the instant case, so this is another quote. In the instant case, the trial judge did not analyze the evidence he added to it, dealing with a more, oh my god, I don't understand, more nuance, mannerism of the accused in giving his testimony. The judge put his own experience with all the weight that could be attached to it in the scale against the accused. Okay, I have no idea what this case was about particularly. If I had to guess, it was probably on, let's see, it's 289 US 496 466. This is a case from 1933. Quercia v. United States. And here, okay, so in this particular case, the judge made a statement to the jury. Oh, shit. Okay, so in 1933, the judge gave his own commentary to the jury and said, and now I'm going to tell you what I think of the defendant's testimony. You may have noticed, Mr. Foreman and gentlemen, that he wiped his hands during his testimony. It is rather curious a thing, but that is almost always an indication of lying. Why it should be so, we don't know, but that is a fact. I think every single word the man said, except when he agreed to the government's testimony, was a lie. Well, I can see why the Supreme Court said that was not appropriate. Yeah, he was submitting his own opinion as evidence. Okay, so that is what happened in 1933. I think the quote that she's using then in this particular situation is not appropriate because Judge Kranick never gave his opinion about the case to the jury. In fact, he never said anything to the jury other than read what was agreed upon by the parties, which were the instructions at the beginning and the end, the jury instructions to let them know, don't have any contact, don't talk about the case. That was the only things that he told the jury about. So he never went above and beyond and said, hey, this is my opinion of Sarah Boone. He never did that. So using this quote, I think I'm just trying to wonder what exactly she is getting these quotes from, because it looks like she just went for the quotes instead of actually reading the case. One of the things that you want to do when you're looking at a case and when you're gonna cite to a decision is actually read the case to see if it is analogous. In this case, it was not. Okay, so I agree. Nosaku says, yeah, he acted like a normal judge. And Smooth says, for once, I'm glad that I have better handwriting than someone else. Kintsuro is a kind of Japanese ceramic style. Okay, so this is the statement that she read during court. Because I remember she started with this and I was really confused about what she was trying to achieve. Kintsugi is a kind of Japanese ceramic style, which means to repair with gold. In this tradition, when a ceramic piece breaks, an artisan will fuse the pieces back together again using liquid gold or called dust lacquer. So rather than being covered up, the the breaks become more obvious and a brilliant new piece of art emerges from the brokenness. Okay. Smooth asked how vile you have to be to believe you are the victim in this case. Well, she does believe she is the victim. It embraces flaws, weaknesses, and imperfections and also teaches the essence of resilience. Every crack in a ceramic piece is a part of its history, and each piece becomes more beautiful because it has been broken. I agree. Nosaku says it is a performance. I don't understand what she's talking about. This is completely irrelevant. This is the wisdom of the Kitsukori. I'm probably saying it wrong. In my wisdom, and with all my repairs and now and ongoing, God is, has been, and will always be my artisan. All of my gold is forgiveness. This has helped me together, make me shine brighter, and overcome the damage caused by Jorge Torres, the Torres family, the justice system of Judge Wolfen and Judge Kranek, Judge Woolen and Judge Kranek, Orange County Corrections Department, social media, scoundrel detectives, okay, infamy, defamation, ongoing constitutional rights violations, second degree murder forced into being in prose. Oh my goodness, she's absolutely crazy. I know when she was reading this at trial, I just kept thinking, I can't believe, one, that the start of your speech is completely irrelevant, comes out of nowhere, makes no sense. Then you go on to say that you are the victim by stating that you overcome the damage that was caused by other people. So immediately you start saying, I overcame the damage that was caused by the victim who died, the justice system for arresting her, the judges for keeping her, in prison, the Department of Corrections, social media that didn't do anything, scoundrel detectives who just basically figured out what she did. And because she got arrested of second degree murder and convicted. Oh boy. Just as gold is very precious, forgiveness is invaluable. Sleep because I had to go to work or my son's field trip the next day. What? Okay. Oh, this is page 6. I think this moved. Okay, I think page 7 is. Okay, I think page 7 is the next page. So she goes, just as gold is very precious, forgiveness is invaluable. Forgiveness is not an attempt to change or forget who, what, or how you lived through to be so gold, but an act of grace, humility, and considerable self-compassion to be set free from sorrow. I don't think this is what you think it is, Miss Boone. She's so crazy. Hey, Lux, welcome to Legally Sevvy. I am Sevvy, and we're talking about Sarah Boone. It's just baffling to me, really, that in her attempt to persuade the court to give her another chance, all she does is say, "This is not my fault. I am the victim." Ah, withholding forgiveness denies your brilliance and adds even greater grief and deeper heartache, irreparable cracks on top of the already that no one deserves, no matter the pain or disappointment, untruth or justice. It doesn't matter, as the more broken you are, if, even though now different than before, you become more outstanding and more extraordinary. So I think what she's trying to get through in this statement is that if the judge did not give her a break for sentencing, then at that point, it would create greater grief, deeper heartache, and irreparable harm. And it would be a disappointment, an untruth, and injustice. Exactly, fantastic, sarcastic, exactly. Above all, when you let go of blame, misunderstanding, excuses, give up your anger, and cease from resentment, this is forgiveness. And whom you forgive, you heal. And when you heal, you move forward. Okay. Again, like, her plea to have leniency is not really coming through very well. I don't see remorse here. I do not see remorse here at all. My gold begins with Jorge Torres. So she's referring to the gold. The gold is the cracks and the pain that she was describing. Are we really at 380 subs? Oh shit. That is amazing. Oh my god, that is, well, thank you guys so much. I love it. Thank you guys. I have not checked it out. I think I was like at 200 something last time I checked it. Yeah, remorse was not found here, you guys. Remorse was not found here. That is absolutely bananas. So, in case you guys are wondering, oh, you okay, Lex? Thank you for being the 380 sub. Let's go. Do I have? Oh, I don't think you guys can hear that. I don't think I have. There we go. Let me unmute this. There you go. Now I can do the applause. There you go. Thank you. Now you guys can hear it. Yeah, I have that one, and I have the drum. I like this sound. This is my favorite sound. Dun. Yeah, definitely not. Oh, 382. That is amazing. So she apples are bananas. That is true. I need to buy some apples and some bananas. My gold begins with Jorge Torres. So she was talking about how there's some pottery thing where they crack a vase and they put it together and then they fill in the broken parts of it with gold to make it more beautiful. So she's saying the gold is forgiveness. So, and being the crack being, I don't know, the abuse and whatever. So she says, my gold begins with Jorge Torres. And every time he slapped me, kicked me, punched, spit on, not gonna say it, stabbed, choked, laughed at, pushed. Two snooze. Oh, that's a good idea. Dragged, whipped, tripped, stole from, lied, terrorized, threatened, humiliated, forced, degraded, made me cry. Every time he tried to end me, defeat, or destroy. Okay. So a lot of this stuff, I would say, again, some of the statement that she has here was not proven in court. So it is just her statement, her own words, there is no factual proof that her statements are accurate, particularly with, for example, the R one. There was nothing there that says that actually that happened, or the terrorizing one, right, or the force, or the degrading. There was nothing there that kind of, or even the choked one. That was nothing there. What went into the case, what went into the trial, was the fact that he did punch her. He did slap her. She had a black eye. You know, we saw the picture. She went to the hospital for it. She called the police on it. And the slapped and the stabbing. Jorge Torres did grab some type of knife, I think it was, and stabbed her in her thigh. She took pictures of it. So those are the items that we know did actually happen. The other ones we do not, and she kept making all these comments, which of course, the court, when she was reading this, the camera just zoomed into Jorge Torres' family's faces, and they were devastated. They were just crying when she was talking about this. And again, there's nothing really. It's absolutely just crazy. You know, you're here, you're making a statement to try and get a lesser just sentence other than life, and all you're doing is just blaming the victim. That, I don't think, is the way to go. Definitely not the way to go. Oh, um, definitely not the way to go. So then she goes on to say, I forgive Jorge for beating me senseless, for trying to sleep because I had to go to work or my son's field trip the next day. For ruining my deceased family heirlooms, traditions, and keepsakes. I don't know what heirlooms were ruined. She never talked about it. So other than this being the first time that it comes out, no idea what she meant. Traditions. I have no idea what traditions were ruined either. She never talked about it. So that makes no sense. And keepsakes, again, no idea. My son's furniture, that never came out either. Destroying the TV we watched together. She did take a video of him grabbing, I think, a baseball bat and hitting the TV, and I kept wondering, why would you record this? I don't know if she egged him on to do it, or like what the discussion was. That made no sense to me. But you know, that video did go out, and he was looking at her and he was smiling. It's like, okay, go. He grabbed the bat, and then he hit the TV. It's like, okay, I don't get it. It's not funny. I don't get it. So the portrayal of it as him doing this to aggravate her, I'm not really sure this is accurate. Other than she has the video of it, I don't think so. Tara Crystal says, so the big question is, why stay with someone who does that to you? You should not stay with somebody who does any of that to you, even even the minor stuff, right? Because she makes a lot of allegations in this letter. Even the minor stuff, you know, definitely, if anybody is in that type of situation, you should definitely try to leave that situation as safely as you can. There are many places that will help victims of domestic violence leave domestic violence situation, particularly because when you are going to leave, it can get pretty violent. When you are escaping that type of situation, it can get very, very violent. So there are a lot of places that will help victims of domestic violence get ready to leave and then help them leave. So, for example, they usually tell them, hey, leave like a backpack with clothes and stuff that is ready for you to go. They will provide victims of domestic violence with a cell phone, so that the abuser doesn't know that you have it and you can call the police, that you can use that. They will help them get into shelters that they can live. They'll help them get jobs, right? They will definitely help them get their life together and be able to escape that circle of pain that victims of domestic violence are usually in. And they will help them do that because they know statistically when the person that is being victimized leaves that type of situation, that is when the abuser will escalate the violence. Um, so definitely 100%, if you're in a situation like that, there is help for you out there. There are many places that will help you out. If you don't know where to go, if you have a cell phone, you can go to 211, that is across the United States number, where they can help you get linked up with support in your area. So 211 is like an information number, and they should be able to kind of help most folks. So that's a little like circle for that. You should not stay in that type of situation. So what she basically says in her letter is that she didn't recognize that she was a victim of domestic violence. It was a horrible, toxic relationship because he abused her physically and she abused him physically as well. So not a good situation to be in. And it's absolutely crazy. Nosaka Boy says she wanted control, and when she couldn't have it, that is when the abuse started. Correct. I don't know about Taurus and enough to speculate on his motives. I don't know. I really don't know. What I know is that they were very toxic for each other. Honestly, they were both doing different type of drugs, and they were both drinking too much. So, not a good situation, period. We're wrecking our townhome by breaking windows, punching holes in the walls, and doors, running his entire body into glass doors, kicking in my front and back door over and over and over. Okay. So again, it sounds like he has anger issues and he is showcasing his anger in a way by destroying property around him. For breaking or removing the locks from all the doors and sometimes the knobs altogether, so I had nowhere to feel safe, including the space of my son's room. I don't know any of this. Like a lot of this stuff again is stuff that just came out in her sentencing hearing, so we just don't have any information about this. For terrorizing and threatening my blanded deaf dogs by leaving the gate open I built to keep them safe. Okay, so she's saying that because he kept the gate open, that was terrorizing her dogs and threatening her dogs. Leaving a gate open does not equate to that. Telling me he hoped I find their bloated dead body in the pond or scrape their remains off the pavement or kicking them off bed. I don't think she literally means kicking them. And throwing across the room because they were trying to protect me. I have no idea what this even means. Again, like some of this stuff she just never talked about before. So this is like the first time that she talks about it. For threatening to make me unrecognizable to my son by breaking all the bones in my face. That's not possible. I really doubt that he broke all the bones in her face, because that would require a lot of plastic surgery. Like his brother Moises did to him after seeing all the bruises. Okay, so we're going to this page. From Jorge beating me like all the times their father beat their mother. So, and now she's trying to say everybody in your family is an abuser. Again, I don't know if any of this is true or not. Besides, actually, if she says that her brother stepped in and beat him up because he beat her, why couldn't she seek... Okay, why didn't Jorge's brother then testify on her behalf? Because he didn't. Nobody testified on her behalf. So, for all the drunken rages and fist fights with so many neighbors, There was also no testimony brought that he engaged in fistfights with people. So again, it's just I just have issues with a lot of her statements when there's really nothing there to show that they actually happened. So I'm wandering into their apartments during hunting expeditions after they escaped. For drowning me in liquor and wine because I didn't want to drink, causing me to urinate on myself. Okay. Then biting. Then is it biting the end of the bottle in my face? No. Butting. By butting. Then butting the end of the bottle in my face, giving me two black eyes and a bloody nose. Okay. But we also do know that she is an alcoholic and she was gonna keep drinking. So I don't really think that her her saying that she forced me to drink, I don't think that's accurate. For making me experience. Yes, Wu says this whole thing reads I could have defended myself better than my lawyer. Yes. For making me experience what it is to be sodomized. Okay. Alright. Note that she doesn't say it was forced or coerced. Threatened to kill my friends and the neighbors when they checked on me to make sure I was alive in one piece. Again, no testimony about this. There were no testimony from anybody that said this happened. For threatening to burn down our townhome and set my car on fire because I got a job. Again, no testimony about this. Can't really stress that enough. For holding me hostage on weekends, my son was supposed to come over. By keeping my keys around his neck, my phone in his crotch, and a butcher knife stuck in the middle of the table as a warning not to ask anything or try to leave. Again, no testimony that this is true. For stabbing me in the leg and not letting me call 911 or an ambulance or seek help, where I nearly bled to death until I concocted a lie to save him from being arrested. Okay, so when she was stabbed on the leg, she, in her own testimony, she said that she didn't want to call 911. So here she's saying that he didn't let her call 911. But in her testimony during trial, she never said that. She never said that. She never said that. So she never said that at all. Okay. All right. For destroying my phone with a hammer because my son called. Again, not proven. Not proven. Never came up in a trial. Never came up. I watched very carefully to see what would come up. That never came up. For me experiencing ever being arrested and after today in prison. Hey, lady, that was your fault, okay? that was not him. That was not him, okay? It was not his fault that you got arrested for killing him. How is it his fault? How is it his fault? I don't understand this. I don't understand this. Am I missing something here? No. Oh god. Oh my god. This is crazy. Okay. I got rid of the filter and I just left the green screen on so you can see my chair, but you can't see the green screen. So, improvement. All right. Let's keep reading. For beating me almost blind. Oh, let me move this. For beating me almost blind, crushing my occipital lobe. Okay, again, no proof that this ever happened. Hello, Shadow Warden. How are you today? For having me experience what it means to see stars, like in cartoons. I don't know how you can crush somebody's occipital lobe. How can you do that? Let me Google this. occipital lobe location. So, according to this, the occipital lobe is at the back, right over here, at the back of your at the back of your head, and is responsible for visual perception, including color, form, and motion. Damage to the occipital lobe includes difficulty locating objects in the environment, difficulty identifying colors, it produces hallucinations, word blindness, difficulty in recognizing drawn objects, inability to recognize the movement of an object, and difficulties with reading and writing. So I don't think this is the real thing that happened. Just saying. I don't think your occipital lobe was crushed. Because if she was crushed, we wouldn't be reading anything. For having me experience what it means to see stars like in cartoons where a character has a tall lump on their head. And that too, many times. No, honey, no. That's not what happens when if somebody hits your head, you do know there's bone, right? It's not like your brain can like moves out. Like is that would be cancer. No, that is not how it works. Oh shit. Shadow Warden, you must be out of the group of the sisterhood, Sevvy. If a man screws up something, it is their fault. If a woman screws up something, it is their fault. This woman is absolutely bananas. She is crazy. That's crazy. Okay. Dragging me downstairs by my hair in the middle of the night just to sit next to him. Okay, so he asked her to sit next to him. Okay. For taking my car, driving drunk with my debit card to buy alcohol while I was sleeping. Even though I kindly explained the importance of my car, to take my son to school, foremost, me to go to work, and him to his batters, intervention classes, and probation officer meetings. Okay. So again, it doesn't sound like she just left the keys there and he just took it. But that's not a reason to kill somebody, period. Where I would be forced to sit for hours in the parking lot waiting for him. For causing me so much trauma and pain, mentally, physically, emotionally. I had to be hospitalized more than once. Okay. Again, she went to the hospital. I don't think that's the same as being hospitalized. So a lot of his statements here, what we have learned now, are just... they're very exaggerated. They would be very, very exaggerated. Because a lot of stuff is not proven. For destroying my reputation and integrity. For my new M for murderer, Scarlet Letter. Not letting me feel safe to live, talk to other people, spend time with my son, have a job, friendships, simply go to the bathroom with the door closed, or to go to sleep soundly or comfortably. Again, the fact that you got convicted of second-degree murder is not his fault. It is not the victim's fault. It is not the victim's fault. It is your fault. You are the one who did this. You are the one who did this. Again, I forgive Jorge for lying, for him trying so many times to end me with his love. Okay. I'm so confused, but okay. I also forgive the Torres family. Okay. His mother and father foremost, also his two ex-wives and daughter, all for knowing who Jorge was capable of and what he has done in the past. His history of violence when he learned it. Then to keep turning a blind eye when I would ask for help. Again, there is no testimony that she was asking for help. And even then, I can't believe that she's blaming the victim's family who had to lose him because he died, because you killed him. God. If I was them, at this point, I would have walked out of the courtroom. I would have walked out. All his siblings, including something, I don't know, Pharrell Torres, maybe, who is on his way to prison for stabbing the mother of their baby in the side of her head. Again, this didn't come up in court, so I have no idea if it is true or not. For everyone who knew what Jorge was doing to me, sometimes how and when, but allowed it unenabled. Okay. Again, not proven things. Yeah, again, completely irrelevant. I forgive them for caring too late. Okay, again, purpose of this letter is about why you should have a lesser sentence, not about you making fun of people or going on a moment and being a pariah. I hope they will ask themselves while quiet and comfortable in bed at night the uneasy question: what could I have done to stop this from happening to both of them? And after all time Sarah tried by asking for help from all of us and so many times. Okay, again, this is not really proven. Another great contributor of my gold is social media with its greed, insensitivity, deception, obvious exploitation, and advantageous gain from my criminal case as a whole are for sentencing me by anticipation as a result of ignorance and hate, conjured and fabricated by the organized crime that is social media, which condemned me in the court of global public opinion since the beginning. My family law case is the new prey waiting to be picked apart and pillaged from me, being made infamous by social media in my criminal case. It simply seems I cannot forgive and be forgiven and move forward. Okay, alright. I agree, Nosaku. This is a typical narcissistic manifesto. Erudai just says she's just wow. If you have a look at this woman's exit step, actually, if you believe, say she said you're all narcissists. Oh, I don't. Oh my god! And then of course she calls social media organized crime. I don't think she understands what organized crime is. Social media has made me a pariah. It has caused great oppression and undeniable disadvantages, especially by broadcasting and manipulating my cases online. In my criminal case, as a result, my opportunities to be given a fair, proper, uninfluenced, successful conclusion was heavily depleted and poisoned. Okay. I forgive them, also all the media tycoons, for not having a life of their own. Trying so desperately to move themselves seem so right by making me appear so wrong. Forgiveness for prejudgment, ridiculous theatrics likes making me and taking blood money from I don't know, from my and others' misfortunes, accidents, and catastrophes is all ever their hands, and it's all over their hands and keywords. Okay, alright. So, cases are public for a reason. Cases are public for a reason. If we didn't have cameras in there, we would still have people talk about it. Because people can just go in, crowd the room, and listen in, and then report about it. Cases are public. They are public by nature. Boone's toilet hooch came with some wine. Have some me. Have some of me. Oh my god. Oh, this is too hilarious. And even after all that is said and done, theorized, hypothesized, scrutinized, and blasphemed, in my case, still no one's know me. No. Also, I don't want to know you, lady. Nosaku boy coined it correctly. I deserve leniency because current fucking day. Oh, goodness. My gold also runs deep for my prior attorneys, Mauricio Padilla, who sold me the world with empty promises, then abandoned his responsibilities as my attorney after taking 2.5 years of my life when finally he realized he was in over his head, all while hoarding JAC dollars to fund his staycations with his family when in town from Miami. For having resources ready and available, not allowing me, the client, to ever utilize, which could have greatly progressed my case and perhaps concluded only for him to decide water parks, fine dining, and choice hotels were more important and on the JAC's dime. Wow, okay. So the JAC is the funds that are available for folks who cannot hire an attorney. The attorney will then present how much time they have spent on the case and all the costs and fees and break them down for them with their hourly rate. The JAC does not pay everything. Does not pay everything. And they will look at what the fee is and then go down if needed. So if you are an attorney and you're taking a case as a public defender, one appointed by the court, you're not getting paid a lot of money. You're really not. So her saying that he took all this money to live a life of comfort and riches is insane, because that's not definitely gonna happen. Yeah, I think she is trying the Me Too judge. And don't forget to stab Boone. He was not paid enough. Yeah. I forgive Frank Bankowitz for committing perjury to the judge and on court record about my attempts to be a proactive defendant and client, inquiring about my discovery, then trying to communicate with no answer or correspondence in any manner for 1 full year and 2 months before I was able to finally meet with him in the courtroom, only to receive his motion to withdraw. Frank Bankowitz is forgiven for his greed in taking $15,000 from the JC, who honorably aid indigent defendants as myself for taking advantage of and robbing the justice system by lying and avoiding clients, taking their money and that of JAC. Again, I can look more into this if you guys are interested in what was paid by the JAC. What I do know, again, everything needs to be detailed. So it would include like taking depositions, like correspondence with the court, correspondence with the experts, right? And making all that stuff done. So definitely not what she thinks. Weston E. Hobson receives my forgiveness, who also unethically perjured himself to the judge and on court record about all the progress and attorney's work he did on my case for 2 months. He was court appointed as for his allegations of my supposed unethical requests, which meant me asking about my discovery and trying to have him file a motion for my lawful inclusion to my pretrial conference, cited, okay, so with a C, not an S, under federal rules of criminal procedure. I'm assuming that's F for maybe federal. Discovery Rule 3.220, 01, or I. I wanted to be included in my case and know my progress from being excluded from Bankowitz and Padilla over 3 years prior. Forgiveness also in telling me he would return a week with my discovery only to receive his motion to withdraw. In the meantime, still not receiving my discovery, and I'm filing my own motion asking me to go all my hearings, including my pretrials. She would not be going to the pretrial hearings. This is not normal. A client does not go to the pretrial hearings. It's very unheard of. And it does really show that she just doesn't trust the lawyers. Continued forgiveness in his greed and selfish intentions, also for robbing the JAC and indigent resource defendants of $15,000 more for nothing, justifying any work he really did do in the handful of days he represented me as my new attorney. Finally, and with all my gold received from this one, I forgave Patricia Cashman for her mean and snotty egotistical attitude, and not listening or caring that I finally received my discovery. I kept asking her for which fully withheld from me, citing her ridiculous untrue reasons was because I saw with my first attorney 4 years prior, and while she was being present at the time, attorney, I saw not one page of or any digital evidence of my discovery she prohibited me from seeing. Okay. So Patricia Cashman is a very seasoned criminal law attorney. I think she has like 20 plus years or something ridiculous like that. She's a very seasoned criminal law attorney that represents a lot of folks, and is appointed by the court. Um, and what she was talking about again was, and the judge even did say that Sarah Boone did receive a copy of it because they gave her the paper copies of all the discovery, so she did get it. So for her to say I didn't get it, again, I don't think it's accurate. It's accurate. For to make new copies for her, that would be new cost that would be added as well, because they have to, of course, go and print out everything as well. The reason why Patricia Cashman stepped down from being her attorney was because Sarah Boone refused to meet with her and will walk out, and a lot of the letters she kept saying that she believed that she was guilty. Sarah Boone said that Patricia believed that Sarah Boone was guilty, so she didn't think that she could represent her. Patricia Cashman is also forgiven for admitting I had a right to a bond I asked her for, so I could actually utilize one of my rights as opposed to having them always violated as prior and still ongoing, and then her deterrence of all my opportunities to do so. For all her lies, condescension, gross, unnecessary arguments, and anger, that I asked any questions I wanted to understand, for her doing nothing other than give me an even harder time and request transcripts, then brazenly lie for over 16,000 for doing so, also from the precious resources provided from JAC. I forgive Patricia Cashman for being a liar and a bully. Okay, so the thing about the bond that was insane was that the comment that she had said in one of her letters, because I'm more familiar with Patricia because I remember paying more attention with emotions when she came in, was that she had said, you getting a bond is highly unlikely. And even if you did get a bond, it would be extremely expensive. One that you would not be able to get anybody to vouch for you to do. So it's just not going to happen. Plus, it's a murder case. You're not just going to get out on it. And her response to that, also during the hearing motion in front of the judge, when she was arguing about why she needed to have the bond, even though Patricia Cashman said it's just not going to happen, why are we wasting our time doing that when we have to do other things, was that she said that she gets emails from people in Korea, and she thinks that they are gonna pay the bond for her. So her plan was to start a GoFundMe and have them pay for her bond, and have people from other countries pay for her bond. That was the entire fight that you're reading about here. That was the entire fight. And it was absolutely crazy. It was absolutely crazy. The attorney kept telling her, you have bigger problems to think about than a bond. Court is ticking. The trial is gonna start soon. We need to focus on other things. And instead of doing that, she said that she wanted to go free because she believed the people from Korea, though I don't know if it's one person that emailed her, I have no idea how many people emailed her, would would start a GoFundMe and pay for her bond. Nosaka says never once crossed her mind she wouldn't get off scotch-free. Yeah. Warlock says, of course, now she's innocent, just a victim, a survivor. She should get a medal, really. Maybe the Purple Heart. I don't think that's how it works. Oh, God. Forgiveness for all those who did not include me to receive my 15,000 share I worked for when Judge Kranick forced me to be my own attorney to represent myself as pro se. I actually finally got my own discovery almost 5 years later. Filed motions all prior should have done, making them the most expensive motions, even after 46,000 between the three prior attorneys. Would they have done so when supposedly representing me? The motions would have been priceless for the proper use of the JEC funds towards ethics, professionalism, honesty, and freedom. I honorably utilized my JEC resources and mentorship as a proactive, indigent defendant, avidly defending myself against the liars, thieves, and real villains in my criminal case. Who really is the criminal? I think the jury already said it was you. Oh wait, they did. They convicted you of second-degree murder. The JEC can hopefully include their forgiveness for them also. Fantastic Sarcastic says, I'm starting to not like this woman. I agree. She's not a very likable person. Judge Woolen and Kranick, I have great forgiveness for also in not protecting me, in listening to my valid request for judicial intervention so I could properly and fairly defend myself against my charges. Instead, I had to defend myself against the attorneys, all appointed by the judge and the court, against their lies and exaggerations, reasons unjustifiable why they were creeping away from the battlefield, abandoning their professional duty as my attorney. Again, they're not forced to just represent you. Again, like there are reasons why an attorney can ask to not represent somebody. There are reasons that those are prescribed already in the ethical rules, right? There's reasons there of why an attorney can ask for it when asked to be released. There are reasons about it. And if you ever sign an agreement with an attorney, you will see in the contract reasons why you can withdraw, which is basically any reason you want as the client, and reasons why a lawyer can withdraw. And they're very limited. There are very limited reasons why an attorney can't withdraw, right? And we look at about the ethics. So, for example, if you're asking the attorney to commit a crime, we're asking the attorney to do something unethical, right? If there is a conflict of interest, right? If there are things there, if you as the client are not helping in your defense, there are reasons why an attorney can leave, and they're very limited. They're very restricted. The client holds all of the power in the cards. They can choose to go with a different attorney anytime, at any time, for any reason, right? Any reason. So what happened when, I think, I can't remember, there's a one video that went through all the reasons why 8 of the attorneys quit. And when you look at the letters from Sarah Boone wrote, complaining about the attorneys, it was very clear there was no trust. It was very, very clear that there was no communication, that she did not trust them. She did not want to participate in her defense. And they tried really, really hard. They tried really, really hard. Judge Kranick, I forgive you for not giving me any opportunity to stand at your pulpit, to stand at all, to explain the real truthful side of the story. So in here is her making the statement that she wanted to bring up character evidence against Jorge Torres, and Judge Kranick did not allow it. I believe if the justice system, including yourself, would and should have done any vital homework on the already almost see-through attorneys from being spread so thin, and simply sending an email to care about their present workload, number of clients, trial schedules already in place before throwing another inmate defendant, unknowing client onto the heaping unimportant pile of warm bodies. More taxpayer dollars could have been conserved and less time consumed and waited for everybody, regardless of what part they play in their supposed system of justice. My forgiveness is deepened for taking even greater time of mine away, years, by not caring to ask me anything about anything to understand, so you could just justly render your life defining judgments and withhold any more bias and prejudice. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Nosaku Boy says, "But the truth shall set you free. Why didn't speaking my truth to power work? You must be against me." Foremost, Judge Kranick, I forgive you for kicking me when I was down, okay, and choking the life out of my constitutional amendment, most profoundly my sixth right to counsel, as a result of my wholehearted use of my first right of freedom of speech in being my own advocate, since no one else would be, and received a paycheck for. In all of my free speech experience driven letters, only for remedy in any collaboration, inclusion, receiving my discovery as an inmate, defendant, and client, not removal of any attorneys to cause more delays or any reason or excuse you may try to force on me and have already inappropriately accused me of doing prior to your heavily insinuated strategies of mine to try and defeat the glaring red flags, disappointments, and true crime in and of the justice system. Yeah, I don't think she understands what the First Amendment is. Eraser button says, "It's the patriarchy. It is the patriarchy." I don't think she understands. I don't think she understands what this is. I really don't. I don't think she understands what the First Amendment is. All her letters were considered, and the judge did listen to her concerns 100%. To this day and forward, I do not forfeit my rights, any of them, ever, especially my right to be bold, outspoken, and right. She said her right to be right. She has a right to be right. Okay. She has a right to be right in my real life experiences with the legal and justice system. Okay. You weren't there, Judge Kranick, in anything. No meetings, phone calls, visits, and still took my rights and oppressed harder. I must now defend myself against you, praying you do not care too late as all the others and retaliate further against me as a still proud citizen of the United States of my America. I think she says my America. I think it's everybody's America, lady. And freely, excitedly using my God-given rights to still try and defend myself. She's winning all the way to state pen. Tara Crystal says, next she'll say her being in prison is cruel and unusual punishment. It could be. It could be. To stand up all the way for you to remove my freedom altogether by allowing and approving my stab wound, bloody parts are, I'm not going to say that word in YouTube, bumps, bruises, and all the rest of the beatings I endured. I hope you can finally see and understand just some of the pain from the extreme difficulties, obstacles, and unfairness, especially in my due process you have added in my criminal case and use as an inmate, defendant, and client. All is forgiven. I don't think she has forgiven anybody. I don't think it's just me, but I think she's still mad, and I think she's angry. I think she's very, very angry. But also, again, the judge did not convict her. The jury did. The jury convicted her of second-degree murder. The judge did not do that. Detectives Kopsol and Lowen, I forgive their demonization lies, like saying like they're demonizing her, lies, blacklisting, coercion, law breaking, solicitation of my case before I even arrive at the corrections department to be booked and fingerprinted. This can be seen in my unbeknownst interrogation video, where I asked what they're doing was all that pinging was during their texting swarm, while I naively sat there waiting to be arrested, which they knew would happen the day before. For a couple or bald-faced lying on the stand to the judge and court on record, she didn't tell me to come to the station to pick up my phone. Why else would I go? I didn't even know about the surprise interrogation. Oh my god. Okay, so a couple of things about that. One, when she was interrogated, it was recorded, so we can all see the 2 hours, the 3 hours of the interrogation. During the interrogation, she was reading her Miranda rights. She was told, we want to talk to you and ask you questions now that we got the report from the morgue. And do you still want to talk to us? Do you want to talk to us without an attorney? You understand you have a right to be silent and not answer any questions unless you have an attorney present. Like, they gave her all of that stuff. It's not like she could have just said, I don't wanna talk to you. I just want to stay here silent. She could have just said, nope, just sit down, stay silent, then answer questions. She could have done that. She could have done that. They read her the Miranda rights when they saw her at the scene of the crime, when they talked to her at the police station. You know, they read her the Miranda rights. She had the right to be silent and not answer questions. She had that right. So there was really no law breaking at all. The defense argued that the Miranda rights were not valid because they didn't ask, like, question number 9, which is like, knowing all of that, do you still want to talk to us? But the card that the detective was reading from did not have that. So that card did not have number 9. So the detective grabbed the card because I guess it was added later, or like it was like she had an old card that she didn't know. So it was not intentional at all. But she was still asked all of those questions. And, you know, they said, okay, like, you still want to talk to us? You want an attorney? It's like, nope, I don't want an attorney. Yes, I'm still want to talk to you guys. And in fact, she had a clipboard. I don't have a clipboard with me. I have a sketchbook, so I'll use my sketchbook. She had a clipbook with her. With a pen and stuff. And she had, like, notes and stuff with questions. And she said, well, yes, I have questions I want to ask you that I also want to talk to about. That does not sound like it's somebody that was coerced to have a conversation with the police at all. Boone's Toilet Hooch says she's been mad for 5 years over this nonsense. Yeah, she has. Nosaku Boy says, holy Christ, this is literally everybody else's fault. Yes, correct. Warlock says, worst case of it's not my fault. Since Amber Heard. 3-point back, Sarah. Yeah. I forgive them for also lying how the news showed up to record my walk of shame. Handcuffed and confused on camera. I forgive them for trying to make me lose. I think that means lose. From the beginning by starting the unquenchable wildfire of sensationalism and distortion, ignorant hate, defamation, greed, by unlawfully broadcasting who they wanted the world to think I was by their schemes, learned lessons, and fraudulent strategies or stratagems from the school of manipulation taking advantage. How much did they make off of me and still are calling it in? Then removing the curtain to expose their personality twisted murdering monster. Okay, so first of all, You were the one who did that to yourself. Second of all, what was reported is, you know, all what was reported was, hey, we arrested somebody, and we're gonna go to trial. The craziness happened because Sarah Boone opened her mouth and started writing letters like this, where everybody can see that she really lost it, that she really has no good understanding of what is, that she's making her case worse. Correct, Nosaku. There was also a video. She took a video of her making fun of Jorge Torres while he was saying that he couldn't breathe, which I think is absolutely heartbreaking, because you can see him struggle, you can hear him struggle, and she just records it as she makes fun of him because he can't breathe. Yeah, I agree. Tara Crystal says she's trying to sound smart by using big words. Boone's Charlie Hooch says that Texas were having a good day, Sarah. The Saka Boy says Karens always want to talk, their words are the most important. That is very, very true. I also, my forgiveness and greater gold comes from wondering why nothing viable in my defense was taken from my townhome, aka the crime scene, to aid in the truth, such as the butcher knife, 5-pronged garden claw, or hammer under the table together outside where Jorge had easy access for use if I try to leave or call for help, while being held against my will during his rageful venges. Again, 1. Let me start by this. 1. Jorge Torres was inside a suitcase when this happened. If you are gonna talk about self-defense comes when you believe your life is at risk. There needs to be something that happens, an action that happens that makes you afraid for your life. For example, person coming at you with a knife, person pointing a gun at you. That would make you afraid for your life, right? Then the level that you respond, you know, then there's a lot of discussion about what level do you respond. You know, some states require you to run away. Some other states have stand your ground laws, right? It's very different when you look at the states, right? But you need to have that section in there first. Something happens so that you are afraid of your life. So let's go to this case. Let's go to Sarah Boone's case. What happened? They were drinking the entire day. They finished their alcohol. They went to the store, bought more alcohol. They came home. They kept drinking their wine and alcohol, which they did take. That was evidence, part of, you know, the situation that happened. Again, we're looking to see what is relevant evidence. They took the alcohol bottles because there were evidence that they were drunk. They were drinking. Sarah Boone took videos. They took her phone, preserved the evidence. They decided that they were gonna play hide and seek, supposedly. I don't know if they actually were playing hide and seek. I don't think they were. Jorge Torres gets in the suitcase. Sarah Boone closes up the suitcase. Again, these are facts that were proven in court, right? Because he himself couldn't have done it. Sarah Boone continues to drink while Jorge Torres is inside the suitcase pleading for help, stating he couldn't breathe. Sarah Boone grabs a bat, hits him. They grab the bat. The bat is entered into evidence. The suitcase is entered into evidence, right? Sarah Boone keeps drinking, makes another recording, goes to bed, wakes up, right? That's the evidence that's relevant to the case. That's the evidence that's related to the case. He didn't come there with a butcher knife to try and hurt her. He was inside a suitcase, okay? So the fact that there was a butcher knife in the kitchen is not does not have any probative value to the case because it was not used anywhere in the story, right? It didn't come up at all. It didn't come up at all. The quote perpetrator that Jorge Torre was supposedly was inside a suitcase where he couldn't move and he couldn't breathe. I don't see how the butcher knife would be relevant when he's inside the suitcase and can't move, right? So again, that wouldn't be there. That's not relevant. A garden claw or a hammer, okay. Again, I don't see the relevance of those items because when you're arguing self-defense, you have to look at what was the incident that triggered your fear for your life. And even at the court trial, the attorneys for Sarah Boone said the trigger was that he was drunk and that he was at the 2 wine bottle mark. Okay, well, the wine bottles were part of the evidence. The butcher knife was not. It was not relevant. It's not. It does not have any type of probative value for the case. Boone Soler, who's especially when she lied about it being an accidental trial. That is true. That is true. And before trial, she did say that this was an accident, that she didn't know. She thought that he was gonna get out. Why would they grab the butcher knife or the hammer when, again, she just said she fell asleep and it was an accident? She thought that he was gonna get out. So if she thought he was going to get out, why would the butcher knife be relevant? Right? Okay. So, or my bloody pillowcase stained for me being backhanded because I hid the magnum-sized bottle of vodka from him. Again, when we're looking at the evidence, we're looking at the probative value, which is when did the pillowcase become bloody? It was not during this interaction. It was before. So again, that's not really relevant. The fact that there was prior incidents of domestic violence. Okay, well, like you provided testimony about it, but why would it be why would the bloody pillowcase be relevant to the fact that you got charged with second-degree murder when the individual was inside a suitcase and nowhere near the pillowcase? It's not like he hit her and then blood fell on the pillow. Right? It's not part of the fact pattern. Why weren't any crime scene photos taken of holes, patching walls and doors, some doors missing knobs, and all locks were removed, cracked windows, broken furniture, obvious unnatural destruction in my townhome? How and where this missed, uncared for about, or not questioned so I could explain some of my terror? Again, she talked about the fact that there were holes in the walls, but when the crime scene folks came in, they just took pictures of the entire house. So they did take pictures of all of the walls, right? Because they came in, they took pictures of everything, and the layout of the place. So they didn't go around and be like, okay, well, tell me exactly what caused this hole. They didn't go a deep dive on it because, again, Sarah Boone didn't mention any of it, right? It makes no difference, all is forgiven. Prosecutors, Mr. J and Mr. Casitore, my forgiveness is also extended for your inappropriate attributed motives for having to go through years of my pictures, videos, texts to erroneously piece together your deceitful, damning version of what really happened and who I am. Again, I think the texts speak for themselves. After so much availability and for so very long, you were finally able to make a circle fit into a square. No, lady. I think what you did and what you said was pretty damning. I forgive your antics, theatrics, ludicrous comments to make sure the world got their money's worth while watering with ignorant... I think he says watering. I'm not sure. With ignorant pitchforks. No, watching with ignorant pitchforks and burning torches. hoping for the best from you, which is my worst. Instead of dropping the mic, Mr. J, you dropped the bat. Okay, no. All right. Yeah, two bumbling drunks living there. I wonder what caused the damage. Exactly, Boone's toilet, which exactly. For the yelling, finger pointing, and intense underlining, I think it says underlining, to force your theoreticals and fantastics on the jury by using imaginary space adventures and fictional characters to blind and dazzle them with your far reaching from the truth dramatization. Okay, there was nothing from space, no adventures at all, and no fictional characters, you guys. that did not happen. There was no yelling, there was no finger pointing, there were no intense theatricals in any way or fantasies portrayed at all. Yeah, if she would have taken the plea deal, she would have been out. She would have, but no, it's her decision. It was a really bad decision, in my opinion. In all of your pieced together productions, I forgive you for never seeing to the light in people, their human goodness, human and big hearts. You wake up to seek out the opposite, to condemn, to take their lives in your own way. Okay, you do realize that's their job, right? Their job is to be prosecutors. Their job is to be prosecutors. That is the definition of the job. When you look at the definition of an attorney, is somebody that advocates for their client. They're gonna be a strong advocate for the client. You want a strong advocate for you. That is why you would have attorneys. In fact, Sarah Boone had 8, 9 with 10, I guess, 9 and 10. Well, 9, the law firm, and the attorneys that helped her, right? She had her own attorneys that are advocating very strongly for her sake, but this is their job as prosecutors. This is their job. This is what they do. They're advocates. Because the idea is we are going to be a strong advocate for a client, and the attorneys on the other side are going to be a strong advocate for theirs. That is the pure definition of what an attorney is. That is what an attorney does. They're not there to feel bad for you. I mean, if anything, they felt bad for you and they offered you a plea deal, which they did not take. They went a step further. And during the trial, they asked the judge to make sure that you were aware of the plea deal and that you weren't coerced into not taking the plea deal just so attorneys could make money. They didn't have to do that. They did not have to do that at all. Oh, hello, Cajun Corey, how are you? They didn't have to do that at all. No, they didn't have to do that. They did it because they were concerned that Sarah Boone was being coerced and was going to get a worse decision at trial. That's what they did. Many attorneys would have not done that. Many attorneys would have said, you know what? She is gonna reap what she sows. Many attorneys would have been like, whatever, man. If this is how you want to play it, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. A lot of attorneys would have just walked away from that and just let her just dig up a fucking hole. But no, the prosecutors went above and beyond and went to the judge and said, we have concerns. We think that these attorneys that now are representing Sarah Boone are money grabbers. We are concerned that she is being forced to not take the plea deal because they knew the plea deal was going to be way better than anything she was going to get at trial. They didn't have to do that. If they were attorneys that were out to get everybody else, they would have not done that. I think that speaks a lot about their ethics. the fact that they decided to speak out for somebody that hates them so much. Cajun Corey says she is crazy. Yes, she is. Well, my understanding is that Florida does not allow parole. All right. See the good that does exist in all of us inherently and unforced, even as the proud Mr. J stated, the kicked door that bites. Mr. J, who kicked the door in the first place? In my wisdom, it's usually best to leave sleeping dogs lie when they don't bite. Wait, hold on. Is she saying... Is she saying... Oh my god, my camera keeps like moving to the side. Sorry about that. There you go. Is she saying that she thinks that prosecutors should have dropped the charges against her? Is that what she's saying? When in my wisdom, it's usually best to leave sleeping dogs lie? Is that what she's saying? Because that's messed up. They're not gonna do that. You killed somebody. No. And hello, Tommy Doyle. How are you? With all the hearts in chat. John Gordon says the only hope Sarah had to avoid life was plea. I agree. She's writing the next American novel. We're almost done, guys. My goal goes to the jury. Oh, she finally went after the jury. Look at that. My gold goes out to the jury for not understanding my cracks, for being blinded from the injustice and malpractice in all the judicial and prosecutorial errors. No, head none. No. The very apparent violations of my constitutional rights. No. That's not a thing. During my case, an entire trial, which caused mass confusion and dysfunction. Okay. There was only one thing that happened at trial, and I talked about it earlier, which was the expert witness saying that she determined after reading the literature that Sarah Boone, could be diagnosed with more things. That's the only thing that happened. It's the only thing that happened. The only thing that happened. And that was corrected at trial by letting her defense attorneys do a deposition right away without the jury being there. Right away. There was no malpractice. There were no judicial errors. The prosecution had an issue, but it was not their problem because it was the expert witness that then later said after deposition that she had changed her mind, that she had looked at more documents and then determined more things. So it really didn't even fall under prosecution at all. Smooth, the DJ says, oh, they understood your cracks. That's why you were sentenced in the first place. Oh, Nosaka says, polish a turd all you like. A gilded shit is still shit. I agree. Okay, I forgive the jury truly for being weary from this confusion and dysfunction. Also for being hungry and tired and wanting to go home to their families after being away from them in full capacity for 2 full weeks. I understand. Okay, you do realize that they were there for the same amount of time that somebody would be at work? It was not like they were there for extended hours at all. They had breaks to go eat too, so they were not hungry. They were not tired. It's normal work day for them. From this and their brash, misguided, corrupted decisions, I was wrongfully judged a murderer instead of a survivor. For this, all is forgiven. For this, I can still survive and stand tall, having the greatest opportunity to finally be understood in the Supreme Court for my appeal. Oh my gosh, she has a heart. I just looked down. It's like she put a heart in a letter that went to the court. She actually put a heart. Oh my god. Yeah, she is trying to gaslight the jury now. I didn't lose. God just wanted me to win in a different way. Freedom is forgiveness. Yeah. Oh no, why is this happening? Oh, oh my god. Cannot believe she did it. I cannot believe she did that. In the end, I forgive myself for not choosing my life sooner, for not being more brave, vigilant, bolder, and outspoken, stronger mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. We're almost done. For being hopeless, desperate, simple minded, weak, and inexperienced. I forgive myself for not realizing I was enduring a life of domestic violence and that vicious cycle never ends. I had nothing to compare to. I've never been hit by a man ever before in my life. I was raised hitting a woman was wrong and should never happen. No excuse. I forgive myself for not escaping permanently, for not fighting back sooner to save myself. My son, my dogs, my home, and my car. Okay, first of all, you cannot claim self defense because somebody is hurting your dog. You cannot claim self defense because somebody is hurting your car or your property. You can claim self defense if you think you are in danger and you think you're gonna die. Only you, or I guess, other people, her son would be there. But you can't claim self defense because somebody is hurting your car. That is a major escalation there. Nosaku says, it's like those people who use the kissy face on Twitter. I call it Twitter. I survived the man in the suitcase. I'm a survivor. It says history eraser button. Oh my god. It's so bad. Warlock says she's just forgiving the Fury for being confused and not knowing the real truth from the chosen one, the only speaker of the truth. John Gordon says, honey, you're not winning your appeal. She's not winning her appeal. Yeah. There we go. Hello, BH Bum. Welcome. Oh, thank you for subbing. Thank you. We are so close to 500. If somebody can tell me what number we're in, I'll appreciate it. But once we reach 500, then we will move to monetization and getting those watch hours happening. But I'm so excited, you guys. Like, this is really happening. It's absolutely bananas. Okay, we are, I think, at 387 subs. Oh, Beach Bum. There we go, Beach Bum. Thank you. 387 subs, you guys. Thank you so much. We're so close to 500. So close. John Gordon says pets count as property, I believe. Yeah, I think it really depends on the state. The state that I'm in, Minnesota, would not count defending a dog, right? I think everybody knows, and maybe I can do a video on this. Just let me know what you guys think. Minnesota has now really bad law about self-defense. They made it even worse. In Minnesota, you have a duty to retreat. It's basically, if you're in a house, somebody comes in your front door with guns blazing, you have to hide. You have to go to the other floor. If they follow you, you have a duty to go hide and lock yourself in the bathroom, to make sure that they don't go in. So you have the duty to retreat. Even if they keep following you all throughout your house, you have a duty to just keep running away, right? So it is very, very hard. I remember when I first got trained on shooting guns, because like you have to go through training, you have to go through classes, and they basically always teach you, at least if you have a gun and you're using it on self-defense, do not hesitate, because if you shoot somebody once and then you come back half an hour later and you shoot them again, that's not self-defense anymore. That's not self-defense anymore. I mean, like that. Oh my god, it was crazy. We're violating our own castle doctrine. Yeah, I agree, no Saku boy. I agree. We are violating the our own castle doctrine. It's just absolutely bananas. I can't believe that Minnesota went that route. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. You have guns for a reason. It's our right to have guns. It is definitely our right to have guns. It's absolute bananas what Minnesota is doing. But Maybe I'll do a video on it because I do feel very passionate about how wrong it is. It's fucking bananas. Um, I don't know how in the fuck that got through. I have no idea. I really don't. Maybe I'll do a I'll do a video on it or a stream. Just let me know in the comments. I know I've got so many ideas and there's so many topics to cover, but this is one that really pissed me off. I was so mad for an entire week. I'm still mad. It happened a while back and I'm still mad about it. Shadow Warden says, I'm surprised the Latinas live in that far north. It's not bad. Other than the weather being super cold, it's really not bad. I do enjoy Minnesota. I chose to live in Minnesota because the insurance laws. So in case you guys don't know, this is not related to Sarah Boone. I'll be brief about this. Insurance laws are governed by the state. So you can have different insurance laws based on your state. So insurance is governed by state on a state by state basis. And there was a Minnesota Supreme Court decision from Blue Cross Blue Shield that forced insurance companies in Minnesota to cover way more things as it comes to mental health for folks in Minnesota. And they forced insurance companies to stop being so what's the word I want to describe? Sleazy. Stop being so sleazy. So it was, so in terms of that, like the fact that insurance, the insurance laws was, I would say, what drew me to stay in Minnesota and not move to a different state. For sure. Hello, Jensen. Dan, I need to get on my PC to be on multiple channels. I think I need to stay here for a while. We'll be done soon enough, and then you can bounce to other channels. I know everybody is like streaming all the time, so I do apologize for that. There is no good time for me to stream too, which is crazy. So I do appreciate you guys for being here, 100%. Christian says, I have 4 tabs open. If it makes you feel better, I'm only streaming in YouTube. So when I do Legally Sevvy, I'm only streaming on YouTube. I'm not streaming anywhere else. I'm only streaming here. So for Legally Sevvy content, you can only get it here. You won't find it in Twitch or Kick. It will only be here. So anyway, so that's what motivated me to stay here. I prefer fall weather because it's kind of nicer. And we basically have fall weather-ish and winter most of the year anyway. I hate hot, humid weather, which is only really July and June. So other than those 2 months, I'm okay. The fact that it gets really cold, I can deal with because I can always just layer up. So it'll be good. It will be good. History eraser button and minute 7 because your legal malpractice insurance is cheaper. Oh my god, no. No. Smooth the DJ. Usually when I try to stream, there's like 2 or 3 channels I probably have to work for. Yeah. Oh my god, Smooth, oh shit. He is modded in 14 channels. Yeah. Well, I appreciate all you guys that stepped down for modding, so I really appreciate all of you guys' support. Okay, so let's go back to Sarah Boone. Also, hold on. Okay, I forgive myself for not escaping permanently, for not fighting sooner to save myself. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Having 20/20 hindsight, thinking of everything I could have done differently or better to avoid the outcome. I think about this every day since. Also, of all the good days we had together, for him at least, while I was constantly in hyperdrive, high alert, paranoid, making sure I did everything right all the time, I knew if not, the great possibility I would be ended, as Jorge threatened me so many times before. I forgive myself for falling in love with a monster and no matter how grotesque he may become, I still loved, hoped, and forgave. I tried breaking the spell so he wouldn't be a monster anymore, and I saw who he was on the inside. Jorge made me then, now, and always have him for all of his cracks. Also, we made each other our own brilliant pieces of art from the cracks and repairs. Unfortunately, not all cracks can be. Oh my god, she's just absolutely insane. Yeah, this is, I don't think she's gonna win the appeal on this one. In all of my forgiveness, Jorge is my greatest lesson and will forever be a part of me. I think of him every day and still speak to him when alone in the wrecked yard. I ask his forgiveness and that he can look for me in the gates of heaven so I can tell him how sorry I am endlessly and that I never stop loving him in all of it and still. I think I'm getting a cold. So interesting that she believes that she can go to heaven. Don't understand how she thinks that's gonna happen, considering she was convicted of second-degree murder, and she was responsible for Jorge dying. It's absolutely crazy. Jensen says, I don't see how some channels have mods at all, being in a few and can't even see chat. He moves that fast. Sometimes they have slow chat, but usually mods are just looking for trolls and they act really, really fast. Oh my god, I'm starting to feel congested, for sure. Beach Mom says, I feel bad for her cellmate. Kind of. I feel bad for her cellmate too. Nosaku says, yeah, Jesus can't forgive you until you can admit accountability for your mistakes. That is true. That is accurate. We do have the best mods. When I first came to jail, I put my mat under my bed and cried all day and all night for months, only falling asleep from being so exhausted with grief. I wrote him letters. I wrote his family and his daughter apologizing, asking for their forgiveness, but due to fear that my life or my sons would be jeopardized, I did not send. I am sorry, I cannot begin to fathom any of their grief and sadness. Forgive me. Almost everything reminds me of him. Seeing my stab wound every day, especially, it truly reminds me all I really did live through. Jorge haunts me. He's everywhere, I believe, because I do still love him, think of him, and I don't know what this is, and something. Think of him and something. His laugh the most. Oh, miss his laugh the most. In my heart, I know he is with me and understands that this tragedy was not intentional. I hope everyone... Wait, she just said this is not intentional? Her entire defense was that it was intentional. Her entire defense was that it was intentional. So, when she was interviewed and in the interrogation with the cops, she said it was an accident. She said she fell asleep. She didn't know, right? But during trial, she changed what she said, and she said that it was intentional. She intentionally kept them in there because she was afraid of him getting out of the suitcase. But now she says it was not intentional. I think she needs to make up her mind. Oh my god. I'm sure this letter is now gonna make it as part of the state's response to whatever she says. So she cannot make up her mind. I hope everybody can, his family foremost. I didn't mean for this to happen. Please wholeheartedly know that and always I would never. Okay, so forgive me, Jorge, forgive me, Tori's family, forgive me, Judge Kranick, and to the entire planet, forgive me. I don't think it is... I don't think you need to be asking people for forgiveness. I think you need to be asking Jorge for forgiveness. How you treat other people, sure, but I don't know why you're looking at the world. Oh my goodness. Smooth the DJ says Nosaku shakes head and throws keyboard across the room. Jesus has that black robe disease. Smooth the DJ, you want forgiveness? Get religion! Billy McGuire. Justice is such a crazy bitch. Yeah. History Racer Bun. If she thinks this will help an appeal, she better go ahead and offer her forgiveness to the Court of Appeals. I forgive you for not proactively vacating my sentence. I agree. My apology is profuse and ceaseless. Allow me please to brush off the muck, wipe the blood off my face, and fix the cuts in my skin. I ask for understanding of what really happened and for how long. For second chances, repentance, and redemption to advocate for all domestic violence survivors, to help them overcome, heal, and still hope always to make their voices heard, to confidently walk with all of their scars on the outside and inside. Oh my God, you're not a spokesperson for somebody who has suffered domestic abuse. You're really not. To help them not ever become a casualty of domestic violence as so many others, to stop the abuse and maltreatment before it's too late. There is always hope you can survive. In my soft spoken conclusion, I ask this: Would I be the darling mother? Oh my God. Okay. She's now calling herself a darling mother. Would I be the darling mother, celebrated woman of the year, if it were I who died? How many daughters, mothers, sisters, aunts, grandmother, nieces, and friends have been because they did? I am a survivor. Okay. Learn to do good, seek justice, rebuke the oppressor, defend the fatherless, plead for the widow. Isaiah 117. All encompassing, protect the abused. And Sarah Boone. Well, there you go. And let me. Well, well, there you guys have it. That is the craziness that is Sarah Boone. She sent. I didn't want to see it during the stream while I was reading it, so you guys didn't get mad at me. She sent a 28 page letter to the judge, which she did partially read in court. And again, part of what she said in her letter, if you go back all the way to the beginning, was that she was reading it now, and she was sending the entire letter because she was not allowed to read the entire letter in court by her attorneys. So she said that her attorneys forced her to redact and cut down on what she was saying. Yeah, she wanted to read that entire toda la novela, at court during her sentencing, which is absolutely insane. I don't think that would have helped her in any way whatsoever. Um, Beach Brim says she meant to say poster child for abusers. She said gaslighting. She is definitely gaslighting everybody. I don't see it. I don't think this letter is gonna help her at all. She seems to be poised to appeal. Her attorneys are not gonna be the ones to do the appeal, so it'll be interesting to see how she ends up appealing, since she doesn't have a right to counsel anymore. I'm not sure if, actually, I don't know if the judge would appoint her a lawyer for an appeal. So I don't know how that will happen. So more to come on that. It'll be interesting because Judge Krenik said that she no longer has the right to be appointed counsel because of her behavior, and the reasons why all 8 lawyers just quit on her because of her demeanor and her behavior and everything that she was doing. So it'll be interesting to see what he ends up saying for the appeal. I'm not sure. It's possible that it was just limited to her case at trial, so she might be appointed one for the appeal. I have to go back and look at the order because I don't think it was. You can't get an appointed lawyer in the appeal one, so I think she'll be appointed one for sure. Chair Crystal says, seriously, she is saying it was not her fault, it's everyone else's. Yes, that is definitely what she's saying. Beachfront says Florida will appoint one. Yes, appellate level she'll guess one try. Yeah, okay. So that's what my guess is as well, for sure. So we'll kind of see how that goes. It'll be interesting to see what they're gonna have to say. There weren't, I mean, again, like it was within the sentencing guidelines for her to get life, so that's not, that's not new. That's normal. That's not new at all. So that's, I don't see an error in discretion there. I don't see an abuse of discretion. The judge was pretty fair in all of his rulings, so I don't really know what's going to happen. John Gordon asks, do you think she'll write another letter to the appeals court? Yes. I think so. She has written so many letters, which are absolutely crazy, complaining about everything. So I think she will have her attorneys appeal, and then she will write a letter to the appeals court as well. So I'm sure she will. This is not stopping for her. I'm sure she will continue to write letters, 100%. History Racer Button says she needs Sarah McLachlan's music. I think I said it right. Playing in the background, the little violin. She said little tiny violin. I can't do the violin sound, but we'll pretend it. We'll pretend it's there. We'll pretend it's there. Karen gonna Karen. Yes, Karen are gonna Karen. Warlock says the biggest question is, would Arudai get in the suitcase if Sevvy braid her hair while asking? Oh God, I don't think he would. I don't think he would. It just says John Gordon. She's busy. She's now writing 2 drafts. Yeah, that's gonna happen. No, Saku says yes. Not even a question. Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God, that's just too funny. But thank you. I do need a sad violin soundbite. I do. I'll have to find one and just make sure to play it. I have sound bites. I have creepy music, and I have the Among Us sound. Maybe I should have played that. I have some sounds, but I'll have to add more sounds to my stream deck for sure. Tommy Doyle says MCU fan is still being a chicken. Oh, really? Okay, I'll check it out. Well, thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me as we dissected that monster of a letter. And we'll see how it goes. I have a couple of more videos to come, but for this one, I thought it was gonna be best to just go ahead and do it live. Let me just look here. I'm working, I will be talking about the Wonder Franco trial. So that'll be really fun. When that comes up, that trial got postponed. By the way, he faces charges based on sexual abuse and human trafficking involving a 14-year-old girl. So we'll talk about that and that trial. That trial got postponed to June, by the way. So we'll talk about that. Yes, thank you. Yes, June 2nd. Thank you, Tommy Doyle. And we do have more of the P. Diddy videos coming up as well. So make sure to check it out because we'll be dissecting all of that. And don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Tell me of any more ideas you have. What you think of the letter. The unredacted, unmodified letter that she wanted to read during sentencing. Warlock says, will I talk about People versus Rakita? I can if you guys want me to. I definitely can. I've been following it. I'm guessing he's gonna make a plea agreement at some point. That's my guess. Based on what I've known of that case. But I will talk to you guys later. Don't forget, today is a Thursday, so we have a March of the Dragon Queen. Let's go. And tomorrow we're gonna. Oh, I think the plan was to get Arudai to play Dragon Age tomorrow, so it's either gonna be that or one of my streams. So if you have a preference, if you would rather see Dragon Age Veilguard, or if you'd rather watch one of my streams, let me know. Just leave a comment, and I will talk to all of you guys later. Bye, everybody.